Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Now we'll start. Okay. Okay. Afilu Alteker, der Moire Schornik von Levi's Beis Midrash, Levi's Beis Midrash, hat vergessen, a Stere hat ihm schon gehabt, weggetrieben, mit der große Becke Lopeter, war umgeben zu früh Mazel Tov, und ist gekommen, Winchevin, a zweitmal. So even Alteker, the, I think Rachel has said, the depressed person from the Bes Midrash had forgotten that Shtera had driven him away with the big baker's shovel for trying to give too early the Mazel Tov. And he came again. He came for the second time to wish a Mazel Tov. Efshel wird sich das Mal fort eingeben. Maybe this time he would perhaps nevertheless succeed. In Stub hat man ihm aber wieder mal nicht reingelost. But in the house, they didn't allow him, again, did not allow him to enter. Hat zugedrückt, den meschugenen Punnen zum Fenster und mit a zerplättischen Nose zugeguckt, wie die Jiden machen Brache. So because he wasn't allowed in the house, he pressed his crazy face to the window, and with a, I don't know what kind of a nose that is, with his nose.
Flattened.
Oh, flattened, yeah, that would make sense. Flattened nose, looked the way the Jews made brachas. Vor groß Jednigkeit hat als gelegt die Tuppele Scheub, with great greediness, that must be a Slavic word.
Yeah.
He licked the double window pane, the double pane.
The little bit of dust.
It's the little bit of, I thought Shoib, that's dust. It's not the window pane.
The Shoib.
Shoib, there's Shoim and there's Shoib. They're two words. They're two different words. I don't know whether here it means the double glass but it's Shoib, I believe, is window pane, but.
That's the way I read it is like a little bit of dust.
That's what
Okay, well, anyway, he pressed his nose against the window. He was left outside.
Yeah,
That's,
but
dust is Stoib.
Stoib, that's it,
Oh,
Stoib. Dust
you.
is Stoib,
Thank
and this
you.
is
Yeah.
Shoib,
Yeah,
which
Shoib,
is
that's right.
the pane, the window pane. Stoib, that's right. Stoib
Yeah.
is dust. That's right. How do we pronounce this word? I mean, I know what it means because of the Hebrew.
Lechaschila.
Lechaschila.
That's Hebrew.
Yeah, I know, but I would say it differently. But lechaschila haben kiva und kiveche. This, I think, is the first time in the text that we've seen her referred to as kiveche. I'm not sure of that.
Yeah.
Gezain, that at the beginning, did Kiva and his wife, we know her as Shera, Gezain yet werden zufrieden zu stellen afilu die was stehen in Dreußen. In the beginning, Kiva and his wife were satisfied, zufrieden, to even give those who were standing outside. Ungeschnittene Chelekim Lekech, herausgetragen in Polomesek, very proper, cut pieces of cake they took out on platters. Kuperne Nedovis verteilt, and what does it mean? The gifts, the charity givings they distributed. Haben sie aber gleich gesehen, as es ist Ärger. But they soon saw that this was making it worse. Das Stupelnisch wird was amul größer und die Halle kleckt nicht auf Hamotzi. The pushings became even greater, and the challah did not, and I don't understand this question, collect
Wasn't-
nicht auf
Yeah,
didn't satisfy,
it wasn't enough. Didn't suffice.
didn't suffice for the motzi,
Even yeah,
for a motzi.
because they had to give it to so many people.
People. The
They're
shtickle
talking,
lekach.
yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
No. You can see the picture here, the crowd outside.
It's so funny. I mean, yeah, there's so much, and there's
And,
so much
and
social criticism. Look at these people.
Yeah.
They all apparently are coming to give their good wishes, but they really come to fress.
to fress, the fressers.
Yeah.
Die Stücke Lekach hat man gehabt und der Palumisik zerbrochen und die Kuperne Matbaos zerschotten. The pieces of cake they grabbed, and the platters were broken, and the coins were scattered. Haben Mann und Weib mit vereinigte Keuches. So then man and wife, that is to say Kiva and Stera, with unified, I only know that word because of the United States. Vereinigte Keuches. Right. Verhackte Tier, verringelt und verkeitelt. So they locked the door and they chained it. Oif stam klappen mehr nicht geentfeld. For the bangings on the door, they didn't answer anymore. Und alle Tainus en Chanefes von jener Seitier, abgeschnitten mit a scharf Wort. And every accusation and compliment,
complaints, Dinah's complaints,
like complaints, and also compliments from the other side of the door. Flattery, compliments, but it has the feeling of negative, you know, like too much, Sifil. From the other side of the door, they cut off with a sharp word. A weg von Stub und a sof an Eck, away from the house, an end, enough, genik. Stai, Rav Kiva, a bris auf der Elter. What? Reb Kiva, how can you do this? A bris in the older years. Nit aya bobas esek. Great expression. Not your grandmother's business. It's not your business. Mir willen eich nur abgeben Mazel Tov. Willen mir. We only want to give you a Mazel Tov. That's all we're here for. A dank. Ihr kennt das losen liegen eufen Ganek. Thank you very much. Leave the Mazel Tov on the porch. Reb Kiva, ihr kennt mich gar nicht. You don't know me now? Heint nicht. Morgen wollen wir sehen. Bissel weiß ist der... Bisslech weiß, right. Bisslech weiß. Ist der Ongelaf schitterer geworden und nur eingegessene Kapsonim und Schnorre haben noch als nicht gewollt abtreten. Slowly, little by little, did the crowd lessen, and only very determined poor people, schnorrers and kopsonim, were not willing to leave. Verbitterter und mechlomerisch stark beleidigter. Embittered, and apparently very insulted, haben sie sich herumgedreht, herumstub, und berät kieven und kievechen, oi was die Welt steht. So they sort of started twisting around, turning around the house, and they spoke to Kiva and his wife. Now, there must be some expression, oi was die Welt steht.
Baret is like to bad mouth.
Baret. So, but what does it mean?
Yeah, Kiva, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
What does it mean, oi was die Welt steht? Literally, you could say on how the world stands, but there must be some idiomatic thing there. How the world
what the world is made of.
What the world is made of. What's really going on
yeah,
here?
Baret is Baret keinem nicht. It's a don't bad anybody mouth. Don't do, it's Lashon Hara.
Okay, oh, very good. Git nur guck auf der Dranitzer, wie sie ist das Seyachmert. Give a look on that shingle. Why do they call her a shingle? Because she's so thin?
Perhaps.
I don't know. The way she is so excited. A Kleinigkeit zu 50 Jahr gefundene Mamser in Blotte. This is a small thing. And in the year of the 50s to find a Mamser in the mud. An andere hat vergossen Damen und sie klebt naches. Another one spilt her blood and she is getting all the naches. Vera Steger hat das gekannt unterwerfen. Who in this manner would throw a child down? Wenig jüdische Töchter fallen herein? What you think there are so few Yiddish Jewish daughters that are compromised, they fall down. Allemol Töchter von Orem Aleit. It's always the daughters of the poor people. Sha, Efsha Gor Chaya Sarka, the Meshuganel. Quiet. Maybe it's that Chaya Sarah, the Meshugana. Alle Yul Hotzi Taka a Mamzil. Every year, this poor person has a mamzer. Ha. Ot verdi bez demitzel ois gehorven a samasets. I don't know what that is. Well, laugh. And now these childless people are going to, that's not Horven.
Marsha, we have to go to the next page.
Oh, I'm sorry. I read on another screen, so I didn't notice. It's my fault, Marcia. I didn't tell you. Raise it higher so that we can get the whole.
Raise it, Marsha, more, please. Yeah. Go ahead.
Now you have good control over your mouth. Okay, the childless people are, that's not Horven, they're not going to work. I don't know what that expression means.
Hodeven is to raise.
To raise, okay, that's right. And what is a,
Asama is probably Russian, and I guess it means a mamzer.
A mamzer. Okay.
Yeah, and all this, they're saying all this because they didn't get lekach. Now there's no mazel tov anymore. No.
No. Now it's out.
Now there's all this talk. Yeah.
Kedei zu haben a nit kosher Kind darf man nit sein meshuga. In order to have a not kosher child, you don't have to be crazy.
Yeah.
Genug Chlore wären Meshuggah auf a Weile. I don't know what that means. Enough.
Yeah, that's, I think it's enough people that are not Meshuggah, that are normal. Chlore is
clear.
Clear mind. They become crazy for a second. I think there's a referral to sex.
Ah, all right.
They you know, they become a sugar for a second, and then a mamzer comes out of it.
Ah, all right.
So it's not only a sugar. It's not it's
not just
crazy, but anybody
I think you're right.
Who are normal can become crazy and as a
get
result,
carried away. They get carried away.
Exactly, they get carried away, and then there's a child. There's a
Thank
monster.
you. Yeah, I couldn't make it out.
Okay.
Sagt, was wilt, nur nicht jeder Mamzer hat sein Glück. Well, say what you want, but not every Mamzer has so much happiness.
So much luck. So much luck. To be born.
To be in this house.
To be born, yeah.
To be given to such a house.
Envious. I'm sorry. They're envious of the baby. They didn't get their snow. Now they're envious of the baby too. That he fell into this couple's house. Shows you the society, the Yiddish society. It's amazing the way he describes it.
Yeah, he's his in a Jeitske mit Honigteig reingefallen. I guess that means in a house with honey cakes. Fell into like a honey cake. Jene welche hat untergeworfen hat molt eich das als gut gewusst. That one that threw this child in, you can imagine, knew everything. Meshuggah is sie schon gar nicht gewesen. She was not crazy. Hen a simcha auf die Tabaknezel, auf die lomidische Gergelech. And now, well, a happiness for the tobacco noses, for the learned throats, for the learned Gergelech, because they're looking inside and they're seeing those people having a great time there. Gesetzt wären sie Horten Fresendig. They should let them get stuffed. Let them burst. Let them be destroyed. Say again.
Burst.
Let them burst. Let them burst with their wrestling, with their eating. An Oreman, kein ein Schmier beim Lip. And the poor people, not one lick by the lip.
Yeah, but you see the contrast between the Londonische Gergelach, those that are who is invited inside the learned ones. It's the contrast between those that are learned and the poor people. The poor people are not learned.
Not.
Yeah.
No chance. A bissel mail? Or you want to start having somebody else? It's
okay. Yeah, moin. Yankov.
Yankov.
Yankov Ben Abraham, I remember.
Okay.
Thank you.
Nur was tegen uns alle Chochmes und alle Beisemeile von die Kapzonim. But what's the use of all of these chochmas, these clever sayings, and all the and the angry mouths of the poor people. Der Bris ist mit Gottes Hilfe gewinner Bris. Und noch was für ein Bris. So this bris was, with God's help, it was a bris. And what kind of a bris? It was an amazing bris. Ungeschnosket und ungesättigt seinen feine Jeden und gute Schreinim a Reus von Kives Stub het noch halben Tag und säugendig die süße Brecklach von zwischen die Zehen haben sie zwischen sich gefumpft als Mike Omcha. So, having had too much to drink and satiated, these fine Jews and good neighbors left Kiva's house, and hit means far away. But
late.
late.
No, that means they were partying all night until it was already midday.
A long time, late time. It's a time issue.
After midday, yes.
Yeah.
Long after midday. And sucking the sweet crumbs from between their teeth, they
snorted.
Yeah,
they snorted.
They snorted Mika Amcha. How the simple people, how wonderful they are.
You think the simple people? I think Mike Amcha, they were praising Mike Amcha, those that were feeding them.
Mm-hmm.
The couple, like while the poor people that couldn't go in, were saying bad things about these people that were fed, were praising the couple. Mike Amcha. That's look what our people. Kiva and his wife, look at them. Who is like them?
So the idea of the Amcha is who is like our people, who is like
our people. Kiva and Kivache. Yeah.
Kivache.
Yeah.
I think the nuance is these simple people.
You think? Maybe you're right. So who are the simple people here?
These Kiva and Kivache.
Okay. Yeah. And so okay.
In the next sentence we see it. Wo noch da so Volk wie Jeden auf der Welt.
Yeah.
Where will you find such another people like this in the world? Gefunden ein Fremdkind. Wer weiß von wannet und von wemmen und gelassen sich kosten asam matmen mit Geld. So they found this strange child, who knows from where, and they spent such a large sum of money on this bris. Gepraveter bris, nicht ärger für Reb Victor dem Nogid. And they celebrated the bris not in any way worse or different from the wealthy Reb Victor. Und wer? An unseriker. A Yid a Kapsen bim Chila. A Leckachmacher. And who is this man, Kiva? He's one of us. He's a poor man. Excuse me. He's a cake baker.
Yeah, you were right, Yankev. Thank you. The Amcha is a referral to the simple people I see. Like if I see, you were right. And I was right.
Okay.
Nobody's wrong. Everybody's learning.
No, it's Amcha
Yeah,
is
but it's nice to read the text. Amcha, yeah.
Amcha is poor people, but Amcha is also your people, your nation. Yeah. But you were here in this context. You were right.
Okay. Aber noch in demselben Vernacht hat sich gelegt a Chmara zwischen die zwei schrenische Häuser, was haben bei Tag gepravet a selche schöne Brissen. But on that very same night, evening, a dark cloud fell between the two neighboring houses, which during the day had celebrated such wonderful brisses. Kroll der Doktors Schlitten ist weiter angefahren und treuerig verklungen Kivers Häus mit die klinginke Gleckerlich
Kleininke.
Die kleininke Gleckerlich von unter der Zatzketer Doiha. So Kroll, the doctor's sled, once again came up, it traveled up to the house, and very sadly, the Verklungen, they rang at Kiva's house with these small little bells, which under the shaft of the harness. Una beza naies is balda rois in gas, as glicke Victor's Weib hat nebig nicht ausgehalten dem Kimpet fever. And the sad news that soon came out into the street that Glicke, Victor's wife, Nebuch sadly didn't survive the fever of the woman giving birth. Menschen, die Lippen seien bei ihr im Ganzen verbrennt und sie nimmt schon mehr nicht kein Tropfen Wasser im Maul. So this was her the last moments of her life. Her lips were completely all dry and burnt, and she was no longer taking even a drop of water into her mouth. Dem Rov Segulis haben euch nicht geholfen. So the rabbis' remedies didn't help at all. Nicht die paar Löffelig Wein vom Kiddischbecher, nicht dem Nomen dann Menschen. So it's these few spoons of the Kiddush wine which they gave her, and the name Dan that they gave the child, nothing helped. Sie chochelt schon, she was wheezing. A Mama von 4 Kindern und von ein 8-tägigen Säugkind, Gewalt geschrien, sie geäußert. So she's a mother of 5 of 4 children and an 8-day-old suckling child, Gewalt, she's dying. Und noch halb Nacht ist schon Donker Victors Mesinnig gebliebener Jossum, was zeugt von a Rojik, Punkt also wie Meschke beim Schochen. And after midnight, Donker was already, Victor's Mesinnig, Victor's last born, was left an orphan who was sucking from a baby bottle in exactly the same way as Meshka was doing at the neighbor. Und die Geweinen und Gewalten beim Waldzeuger in Heus haben vertummelt die schwache Quitschereien von beiden Brisskameraden. Bei Victoren also wie bei Kive dem Leckermacher. And the cries and Gewalten also cries at the Waldzeuger, the man who sells wood. These cries in the house confused the weak cries of both of these brisk comrades. At Victor's house, this in the same way as at Kiva's house, Kiva the cake baker's house.
Thank you.
Could I just ask a question about, he's called a Yossam here, Don, and you know, he's lost his mother, but he's not a Yossam, he has a father.
But they still say that when you lose one parent, you're a Yossam.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Right. I think in English you're an orphan if you lose both.
Yeah.
In English, it would be you have to lose both, and you're only called an orphan if you don't have either.
Yeah,
parents.
yeah, but no, not in Jewish culture.
Does it have to do with whether it's the mother or the father, or it's the loss of either parent makes the child an orphan?
Either parent, right? Yankov, I'd like to ask you, what is the translation for the word Gewalt with an exclamation mark? What would be the correct translation into English? Gewalt! Gewalt, Geschrei!
Yes.
A scream.
A scream, a cry.
Yeah, but it's like oy vey, something like that.
Yes. No, it's worse than oy vey.
It's terrible.
Gewalt!
Oy vey can be a kracht. Gewalt is a scream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a scream. It's a scream. It's a.
It's one of those words in Yiddish which need a whole paragraph to explain what the meaning of the word is.
Yeah, that's right. Gewalten is a I don't know.
Gewalten is something else.
Gewalt, yeah, but Gewalt is
something else.
What is Gewalden?
Gewalden is noise. It screams.
Gewalden. Okay.
But when you say Gewalt, usually you say Gewalden geschrien.
Gewalt Geschrei. Like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
The dictionary says Gewalt geschrien, for heaven's sake, good heavens, for God's sake.
It lost its flavor in English.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's toned down. It loses its tom. But it's interesting that how for a child who loses even one parent becomes a yosem in Yiddish thinking, whereas that would not be in the Western world that we
But
live in.
especially a mother who
Mm-hmm.
is nursing a child.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Goldale.
Okay. Das
Okay.
Winkele, wo Kivis Hadulnik ist gefunden geworden, heißt in ganz Schlav, Monazons Savulik, ein Vernamen von dem Gewirr Schleime Monazon, welcher hat da einmal gewohnt. In die Zeiten von die Chappers, in Nikolai dem ersten Zeiten.
Excuse me for 1 minute. Could I just, you talk about social criticism here.
Yeah.
The idea of the chappers that Schnorr puts in here. It was Nicholas the First was from 1825 to 1855, and during his time, he instituted this enforced military service for Jewish children. It was 25 years. It was practically a death sentence, and he put a quota so that each shtetl had to produce a certain number. So of course, the Reiche mentioned they didn't want to send their sons, so it was the poor kids who went, and they ran off, and these choppers came in and grabbed these kids. They chopped them, and this was one of the first real splits in Jewish society, the split between the rich and the poor, and who served and who didn't serve. And so when you talk about social criticism, he's inserting it in there with he knows what he's doing when he does that, the writer. He's referring to that time when there was so much discrimination and discrimination and lack of goodwill within the Jewish community. And he puts it in there just after we've seen what happened at the breach. It's very, he knows what he's writing about. Nicholas the First.
Chama, thank you.
He's also juxtaposing Kiva the Nogid and Victor the Nogid and Kiva the Katzen.
Yeah, no, it's very direct, and he's putting in a historical reference there to that time of Nicholas I, when that, and the Jewish community responded in a not very attractive way. So, like you say, Rachela, you see what's going on here.
Yeah.
We can't be too proud of that.
Yeah.
No. It was a real split in shtetl society.
Yeah, that was terrible.
Yeah.
And they the kehila, the VAD, the community council made decisions as to who's going.
Right.
And they were being bribed by the rich, and the poor could not bribe. So,
right. I don't like to think about the comparison that we could draw in the 20th century with quotas being put on, that certain communities had to give up people for work camps or whatever. But
yeah,
I don't want to draw that comparison, but it's not quite that strong. But these choppers who took these kids, and there are, poems and stories about these children who led along this, it's a very painful part of the history.
Yes, it's the same thing in Canadian life, where they would take the Indian children from Canada, from their parents, and try to rob them of their language and make them Christian. The church, the Catholic Church, played a very big part in that. And now those indigents want to be paid for what they did.
Yeah, well, isn't the human race terrible? Yeah. It's known that Israel did something similar. Go on.
The corner of Kiva's Udolnik. Do you want to help me, Yankiv, please?
There's a hodolnik is a suckling child.
Oh, okay. They found, okay, in Ganshklav, in the whole town, they found him. Monazons Zavolnik. I don't know what they're talking about.
Monazons is in the name of a person.
Okay.
It was known as by that name. It was like, you know, it was known by the name of Trump Tower. It was known by that name.
After Shlomo Monazon. Okay.
Yeah.
Zavolnik is a back alley.
Who once lived there. The suckling child the suckling child had already long overgrown and lived at another time. And
so maybe look, why don't you start from the beginning? Just I think because we've talked so much.
Yeah.
On Shuldik Mir. Let's start again so that you'll get the flow of it.
Yeah,
I think you lost the flow
talking about a certain corner. This is
okay,
corner.
That corner.
Yeah.
Where Kiva's nursing child was found.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone knew about it in the town of Shklav. They called the child Monazons Zavalnik. Monazons, a suckling child.
No.
No. They called the corner.
No. That place.
That corner is named after Monazon.
Oh, okay. After the Gvir, who lived there at one time, in the time of the Choppers, in Nikolai the First time. The nursing child already had blood abgebrannt und übergebeugt.
No, that it's
Zavulik is not a nursing child. It's the hodolnik that is the nursing child. A Zavulik is a back alley.
Yeah.
Oh, the back alley.
They lived in this little back alley.
Had long burned and had changed into a completely different place. But in spite of that, today, they still call that area the Savula.
Yes.
Now, Atzin is das Gora seitige Kupke Heise bei der Größe Schulgas. Nicht kein Platz, nicht kein Winkel. But today, it's a completely different place with big houses and a big shul, a shul street. It's not a place. It's not a corner. etwas beide Sachen zusammen. Somehow two things together. Warum zwei Seiten von dem Gebäude bestehen von zwei Schurlich und zwei von Gärtner. But today, both of them together, from both sides, they remain from two Schurlich.
Lines, two lines.
Two lines of houses and sway and two from Kreuzgärtner, from gardeners of
cabbage.
Cabbage. I couldn't think of Kreuz.
Yeah, I'll leave for 2 seconds. You go on.
Vier Häuser gegen vier Häuser, sie gehen sich da wie a Dollar. Two houses, opposite two houses. What is Dalach?
A dalid.
Like the letter,
Oh,
The letter
Dalit.
like a dalit, like the shape.
Okay. Right. Until the Schittere Fleckenet Simon und die Kreuzgarten. Four houses, opposite four houses, like the letter Dalit, until they separate. Schittere, they thin themselves out. Fleckenet Simon. Spotted chimneys from the cabbage growers.
No, it's the Flecken, schittere Fleckene Zäumen. It's these sparse fence boards of the fence.
Spotted. Fleckene is spotted.
No, sparse.
Oh, sparse. Okay.
Sparse, these planks of the fence of the cabbage garden.
Okay.
Giving us a picture of the houses and these cabbage gardens, what this all looks like where they live.
Yeah. And a fence that goes around the cabbage garden.
Okay. Vier Häuser gegen vier Häuser haben angemauert, die Schildeldächer angehalten, die Ziegelne Taimens. Gestellt sich Dibam auf die hinterste Fies und sie bucket sich mit zwei Garnikes. Ein Garnik rechts gehört dem Waldzeughaus. Der zweite Garnik links, Kiefer, der Leckermacher. Okay, four houses opposite four houses. They look like a dollar. Okay, until the Schittere, we did that sentence. Four houses opposite four angemauert, die Schindeldächer. I need help, Yankiv.
Yeah, so this ongeschmurret die Schindeldächer, sort of covered, darkly covered the shingle roofs.
Okay.
They were close together and it sort of made a dark shadow.
And they hardened the Sigelner Hyman's. They hardened chimneys. Zigelne,
brick chimneys, Zigelne, the Zigelne chimneys. And it was like horned. The chimneys were like horns, ongehornte.
Auf die hintersche Fies und sie bucket sich mit zwei Ganekes. And on the back feet, they
it's like the bucket means they jostled.
Bumped
into
with two porches.
The two
One
porches
porch
bumped
on the
into
right,
one
and you had Vigda, who belonged to Vigda, the wood seller, and the second Ganik on the left, to Kiva, the cake baker.
It's interesting that these two people of such different social classes would live so close one to the other. I mean, you wouldn't think that they would be, that they would live in the same gegend.
But they were both tradesmen. They were both workers.
Yeah, but one was a gevir. I mean, one has been described as a gevir and the other is not such a, he's a worker, he's a baker. Well, was a bak.
Maybe Victor started to live there when he wasn't so rich.
Maybe, and didn't move
Maybe,
out.
Yeah, that's some observation.
No, the other thing I wanted to ask is, it's interesting that Hannah didn't try to come to the Brit.
Hannele?
Yeah.
Hannele is banned.
She's banned. Okay, all right. I don't want to get into that yet, but just that she doesn't appear.
Die Bom, dacht sich, haben sich aufgestellt, beide schurlich, heißes, der Fahr, weil zu die Kreuzgärtner lassen sich die Dächer herab. Und zu die zwei Ganekes steigen sie auf. Wherefore, it appears that the two houses that were built
Wait a minute.
because of the cabbage gardens, lassen sich die Dächer herab. The roofs are lower.
They are going down.
Yeah, and to the to the two porches. And the two porches are raised. Unter ihre Dächler haben sich die Heißkes eingespart. Under both roofs, the two houses eingespart were opposing.
Closed in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's the highest case.
Linda one blind, one wall probably had no windows. In der andere und stucken sich Bargeräuf zu die Ganekes. One blind wall to the other, and they're both pushing themselves up the porches.
There's a personification of the houses. Like it's as if the houses are pushing themselves.
Yeah, the roofs are pushing down.
The roofs are pushing down, Yankov?
Yeah.
Okay. is doch in Flug die Kasche. So therefore, we have the question, Weinig Platz in Sklav? Is there not enough room in the town? Was so young? Why so tight? Is the tariff? Is the excuse? Man hat sich also zurück aufgebaut, bald nach der Größe Schafe mit der Jahr 50 zurück.
Schreife.
So the excuse was that they quickly rebuilt immediately after the big war 50 years ago. Fire. Okay.
Schreife.
Nu is Demel Suckman given a grace
Doichak, it's poverty. There was Doichak is poverty.
Okay,
Or a shortage.
Shortage,
yeah,
I thought. I thought it was a
shortage.
shortage.
I've gehillt when I've Schindlen. So there was a big, you said property?
Shortage.
Shortage. I said poverty. Shortage. There was shortage of wood. There was shortage of a building material.
Oh,
Timber.
okay.
And
Is
Schindler.
men given Schwarzdick, so people were thrifty.
Right.
Is doch weitere Kasche Steich? So then there's another question. Do you understand? A Kost hat man abgebrannt mit Kampagne, weil man ist gestanden Dach auf Dach. Geht man und man macht denselben Fehler? So
Now, can I ask about this word again? Rachel talked about it last time, and accomplished. And I think what you said to me was, it was like accurately, like it was some,
No,
it's not that, it means
just.
in,
It means
in the
just.
past,
Just.
just.
Okay.
So it's like just.
I said just last time.
Just,
So they-
okay, good, thank you. That's the word that comes up a lot in this text.
Yeah.
just so they burned the Campania.
Together. The houses
burned
were
together.
together.
Because they stood, they were standing roof on roof.
Yeah.
Gateman and macht them. So then they go and they make the exact same mistake. Okay, Fred cautious. So go and ask questions. I see Allah. You have to raise it. I see alle, was haben sich zurück aufgebaut, seinen schon lang auf guten Ort. So you can say that they quickly built it, but you can't ask questions because the people that built it are long gone in Dishkaki. Guten, I assume good note means they're buried.
Yeah, Besalem.
Dishkaki.
The cemetery.
Yeah.
But what is Rishkaki? Is that the
That's
place?
The place, the name.
That's the
It's a
place
Yeah.
near
Und die,
Shklov.
welche seinen übergeblieben in Hilton Dalit. And the remainder remained in the wooden dollars, way, you know, the houses look. Leben und Gedeihen da, geläubt der Eibischter, wie Gott hat geboten. They lived and they remained there, and they revered that Eibischter God, because God said so, hat sie geboten.
Commanded.
Und bis itzte, allewei weiter, and until today, and God help us further, hat man davon kein Schum nahe Sreife nicht gehört. And from that time on, they never had another big fire. They never heard of a big fire again. Tomer amol in a Shmita sind sich an die fette Sasche bei Kiva dem Leckachmacher in Keimen klettert der alleine rauf in eine Häusen. Bemeile Mechila auf dem Dach gießt rein in Keimen an Emmelwasser, deckt zu mit einem eisernen Tatz und alles geht weiter
Teshuva.
Okay, just let me find the place. But sometime, when somebody, Sasha Kiva, the baker, puts in Kaiman in the chimney. He goes up on the roof and he pours in water and then covers it with a metal tray so that it shouldn't happen again and everything should go smoothly.
Can I ask, excuse me for one, Entschuldig.
Yeah.
What is it, the Mechila, you should excuse me.
Because they're talking really maybe about the underwear.
Yes, underwear.
It doesn't say tachtonim, tachton. No, it's a bimchila. He goes like half naked.
Alleen aroif in ene huis, the Mechila oif in dach.
Yeah, he goes to the roof in underwear.
Yes, he goes because he doesn't want his pants to catch fire or anything. I don't know.
But
he's a handy guy.
It's weird. People have habits.
He's home and he's home and things happen and he's at home. He's not dressed for a party necessarily. Yeah. You know, he's comfortable in whatever it is that he's wearing or not wearing. I don't know. So
okay, and when you say amol in a shmita,
or shmita is 7 years.
Yeah, amol in a shmita in the time of the shmita. We're coming up to it, by the way. Buy your plants now, not later.
Okay, I'm gonna stop.
Wait. I will.
That Rachel can have a turn.
Yeah.
Wait.
Sure.
Because it's
an expression once in 7 years.
In other words, it happens so rarely.
Yeah, but it's an expression, really. It's not, you know, once in a Shemitah, there's also an expression, once in 50.
Yeah. Okay, very good, you know, very good. Yeah. So that's what it means. So
you know, Shnat Shemitah and Shnat Yovel. There's a
once in 50.
where you don't, you're not supposed to cultivate the land after you
Yeah.
eat it for 6
Well, we're coming to it. We're coming to it in this year.
yeah.
But anyway, a
And
mole and
I must say something to you. I think that this was the hardest page in the book. And
oh,
you
it's very difficult.
Yeah,
this ranked right up there in terms of difficulty of language in the beginning when they were describing the workings of the machinery. Do you remember that?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
how difficult it was. And we talked about why does he spend so much time describing this particular way of you know, the lathe maker and all of that.
Yeah. Actually, as I was reading it before we met, I was thinking maybe we should skip some of this.
No, but it gives such a beautiful flavor.
Yeah,
and even to learn.
Yeah, but then I thought, oh no, we shouldn't. We should do it. And I was hoping that it, you know, we would get through it. And then Golda, they're doing it. And thank you, Golda. This is something.
I only did it with everybody's help. Everyone helped me.
We all worked together. But to even to
help me.
Yeah, but also still and all, you're not afraid to ask for help, and you know, and this is something.
I'm never afraid to ask for help. I never thought I knew everything. I'm learning just like everyone else.
Yeah, right. But yeah, that was very good. Yeah.
But I love that expression, a mul and a shmita. You can imagine using that expression.
Yeah, it's very Jewish, because who else? How would the goy understand it, and how would they translate it once in 7 years? Go explain the whole all of Jewish law in the translation. You know. Yeah, but the Shemitah.
I'll tell you, it's the sort of thing that Yosef Gori, who recently died, would have included in his Wörterbuch, the expressions of that kind, a mul and a Shemitah. It's just beautiful. So we wouldn't have learned it if we hadn't struggled through those pages. It's worthwhile.
Yeah. Well, usually descriptions are always more difficult language-wise than
conversation.
Pages, you know, than a narrative. And this is what it was here. Yeah, Goldale. Yeah. Okay, so now it's my turn. I'm looking at my book. This is something. This is life wisdom. There's never a minus without a plus. There's, you know, in every, there's never a disadvantage without an advantage. There's always, you know, nothing is just good or just bad. Nothing is bad without good. There's something good in every bad thing. That's all, yeah. There's some Winkel למשל, wo die zweite Gannekesse unser Zebuket ist offen wie ein heucher schmoller Teuer zu der Schulgas Arois. That corner, where the two porches are like hooked together, is like a tall gate, a tall narrow gate that leads to the synagogue street. Schulgas, there was a shul there was a synagogue. Zido der ständig a Winterle, oh no, sorry. Zido der ständig a Winterle. A viele in the heißeste Tag in Tammuz. So there's always a little wind blowing here. Even in the hottest days of the month of Tammuz, which is now, okay, which is
last month.
parallel to July. Schenen von alle 8 Häuser kommen her und gehen sich in Duschne Ofen. So neighbors from all those 8 houses, alle 8, all those 8 houses who come here to cool off in a hot evenings. Bekovedike Scheinim setzen sich euch auf Weg dem Gewaltsuchers Ganek und Oreme auf dem Ganek beim Leckermacher. Here's again the social difference, social criticism. Bekovedike, that respected neighbors sit on the side of Vigdel.
Unschuldig mehr. Am I in the right spot?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's right.
So
You're fine. You're fine.
Yeah. So respected neighbors seat themselves. Setzen sich. They sit. Nobody told them to sit there, but they seat themselves on the porch of Victor, the wood merchant, and the poor ones seat themselves on the baker's porch. Und Schreinim gegen Schreinim fochen über die verschwitzte Hälse, mit was Gott geht und sagen, als sie Samechaye. Neighbors that are sitting across from neighbors, I don't know what fochen is.
Fochen is the fan.
Oh, okay, interesting. Okay, so they
fan themselves.
They fan themselves. Okay, they fan themselves. They fan their perspiring throats.
Mm-hmm.
And they say that this is amachaya, that this is wonderful, this is refreshing, sitting there.
They're satisfied with what God gives.
Okay, über uns Schreinim gegen Schreinim, okay, I see. Alle Schreinim gehen a ganzigen Tag durch zwischen ob die beide Ganekes zum Schulgas Arois und von Schulgas in Zavulek rein. So this is like a place of traffic where people go and come. They all day long they are going up and down between the two porches. Some Seiden me will machen Umwegen über Stechkes zwischen Fleckerne Zäumen, unless they want to make a detour, Umweg. I did not understand this sentence. They go up and down unless they want to make a detour. That means that they want to go. They don't want to go there. They don't want to go through that passage.
Mm-hmm.
Zumer macht Yeah, Jacob, you have something to add?
They have, they make a detour over the path between these, the fence of the, we had it before, the posts of the fence.
Okay.
Around the Kreuzgarten.
Thank you. Thank you. Zoomer macht men oft mal aza umweg. In summer, they often make such a detour. Mit Gedichten drin seinen verwachsen die Größe Kreuzgärtner. The cabbage gardens grew thick grass. Es schmeckt mit frischer Erde und mit Kürbisblech. There's the aroma of fresh earth.
Mhm.
And pumpkins.
Pumpkin blossoms.
Okay, pumpkin blossoms. Thank you. Inglach grablena arum anit zeitig uger telefon unter azon. Boys take out a cucumber that is not ready yet.
Mhm.
It's like the Over Winter liegt do umetum a toite Weißkeit. But in the winter time, there's always here a dead whiteness. Wisst seien die Gärtner und glitschig und nass seien die schmolle Stechkes. Geht man damals durch noch zwischen beide Gannekes. Now, that was in the summer, there was the fresh earth and the pumpkin blossoms, but now in the winter it's not so. There is a dead whiteness and it's
It's slippery.
Slippery,
yeah.
And
slippery,
wet.
yeah, and wet. What did you say? The stechkas again?
The paths, in the narrow paths.
Narrow, yeah. Mhm.
Okay. So now this is how they go. They go then. They go through these two porches.